In the headlines, building collapses in Kubwa, Abuja as victims narrate ordeal. U.S. court confirms Hush Puppy's sentencing date keeps mum on Kyari's extradition. Niger lepers community cries out over eviction notice. And other forums in Pakistan declares national emergency as flood tolls nears 1,000. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Nten Ekbang. And on the news in full, a building under construction in the Kubwa axis of Abuja collapsed on Thursday. One of the victims, rescued on Friday morning, Hafiz Olayinka, says he was trapped for hours. Olayinka told the newsman that he, alongside others who had been working in the building, were trapped since Thursday night, adding that about 11:30 p.m. on Thursday, they noticed that the building was collapsing and tried to escape but couldn't. According to him, 5 of them were rescued Friday morning and taken to hospital. Also affected was Gloria Uba, whose car was partially damaged as a result of the incident.
So that our parents have been looking down our cars and slowly we only had 3 survivors. In the night, yesterday. Then by 4 this morning, we had to rescue another person that was shouting. As of now, we have 2 more inside. We just hope that it people are still
we dig for 6 hours to save one soul. But 5 was injured. 5 was injured. And we dig on our hand till 5:30. All that I say about it.
Borno State Governor Babagana Umara Zulum on Friday directed the State Urban Development Board to immediately unseal the NNPP Secretariat in Maiduguri. The governor's spokesman, Isa Gusau, in a statement issued on Friday, said that the governor became aware of the board's action, adding that the governor said no matter the justification, the timing is wrong. The statement further revealed that in the last 3 years, the Borno State Urban Development Board has been carrying out a series of reforms, which include sealing of some buildings operated by individuals, corporate bodies like banks and other institutions, and as well as government buildings which contravene laws relating to non-compliance with Maiduguri's town planning procedures. Although the board claimed to have acted in the same regard by sealing the NNPC's headquarters for wrongful conversion of residential area for official purpose, Governor Zulum regards the board's action as wrong timing, which can heat up the polity. The governor believed that reversing the decision is in the overall public interest. Governor Zulum also believes that all political parties should be free to lawfully operate and citizens should be free to associate with political parties of their choices without hindrances. The House of Representatives has summoned the Auditor General of the Federation to appear before it on August 30 for an explanation on fuel subsidy payments between 2013 and 2022. The Auditor General is expected to provide documentary evidence on audit carried out on the money spent on fuel subsidy by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC Limited. Chairman of the Special Committee investigating the fuel subsidy, Ibrahim Aliyu, issued a notice on Thursday. The chairman made this known during the scrutiny of documents submitted by the representative of the Accountant General of the Federation, Okolie Abu Silva, who was represented by the Director of Federation's Accounts. The lawmakers also directed the Office of the AGF to provide relevant financial transactions on the fuel subsidy for the period under review. In its bid to ensure a fair hearing as enshrined in the law, the committee said it was expecting the AGF to appear before it on September 8 with relevant documents. The committee tasked the AGF on the need to have an independent monitoring mechanism to verify the veracity of the transactions. The committee also expressed the need for the Office of the AGF to ensure due diligence by verifying the transaction documents submitted by all government agencies in line with its functions as spelled out in the Act. The Delta State Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, has said the ongoing Leisure Park and Film Village project will be run by private sector for the benefit of not just the state government, but for communities and visitors to the park. Governor Okowa disclosed this to newsmen shortly after inspecting the ongoing project in Asaba, the Delta State capital. The governor expressed optimism that the ongoing project will be open to the public at all times, adding that it will be run by industry experts.
The film village will also be run commercially, and the zoo itself will be run commercially for the benefit not just of the government, but for the benefit of the community and all those who are visiting. Because that is the only way we can have proper maintenance and also ensure that the services are such that it's pleasing to the public. We just went into the zoo that over 70% of the animals that would have come in can't come in now until there is a final finish to the areas. We saw the lion and some other things, but we're hoping that in the next 1 month, because we're going to take some very quick action concerning the funding to look for an alternative means of funding for them.
Bandits on Wednesday ambushed soldiers in Bungudu local government area of Zamfara State, killing 3. According to eyewitness reports, the armed men ambushed the vehicles of the troops while on their way to repel attacks on some communities in Katsina State. The report further said several gunmen were killed in a crossfire which forced the assailants to retreat. The spokesman of the military in the state, Captain Ibrahim Yahaya, could not be reached for comment at the time of filing the report. The United States Attorney's Office for Central District of California, Los Angeles, says the September 21, 2022 sentence date for alleged international internet fraudster Ramon Abbas, also known as Hush Puppy, remains unchanged. The court's director of media relations, Thom Mosaic, made this known on Friday in response to an email inquiry by Channels Television. Since Hush Puppy's conviction late last year for alleged $1.1 million fraud, the court has moved his sentence date at least 3 times. Hush Puppy was initially scheduled for sentencing on Friday 14th, but it was moved to July 11 before it was again postponed for September 21 this year. Hush Puppy had entered a plea bargain and pleaded guilty to charges including money laundering, wire fraud, amongst others brought against him by the court. According to court documents, he risks 20 years imprisonment, a 3-year period of supervised release, a fine of $500,000, or twice the gross gain or gross loss resulting from the offense. He was arrested in Dubai in June 2020 alongside 12 others and extradited to the U.S. for prosecution. The National Broadcasting Commission, the NBC, has temporarily suspended the shutdown of the indebted broadcast stations all over the country a week after it issued a shutdown notice to affected organizations. A statement on Friday signed by the Director General of the Commission, Balarabe Shehu Ilela, which announced the NBC's decision, explained that the regulatory agency had received positive responses from the debtor licensees, including big players in the broadcast industry. The NBC Director General said the Commission was aware of the difficulties the shutdown must have caused the operators and other stakeholders, but stressed that the regulator would always operate within the National Broadcasting Commission Act 2004. The NBC decision had attracted a lot of reactions and even a court order. However, what finally tipped the cart was a follow-up meeting held on Wednesday with executives of the broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, BON, and other critical stakeholders in the industry. Stakeholders in Osun State say adequate awareness of violence against persons, prohibition and administration of criminal justice law will curb sexual and gender-based violence in the state. A social development advocate in the state, Benjamin Ayeni, in an exclusive interview with Trust TV's Hamidu Yegbade in Oshobo, urged civil societies to raise awareness on the existence of the law among residents. Ayeni and a magistrate in the state, Oyindamola Daramola, spoke with our correspondent on the sidelines of a training organized by a non-governmental organization, Community Advancement Initiative for Self-Reliance, for judicial officers and members of civil societies.
Currently, there is still a high level of ignorance as far as this law is concerned. Many people, even among the general populace, they don't understand, they don't even know what this law stipulates. So civil society need to play a prominent role in educating or creating awareness and sensitizing the people on the need to understand this law. It is what you know that you can actually, not be a victim of, or that you can actually fight. So the role of the civil society is very, very key.
The activities of the prosecutors cannot be overemphasized in this regard. They really need to be abreast with the provisions of the law when it has to do with sexual and gender-based violence. They really need to familiarize themselves with the provisions of that law, so as to ensure that whenever offenders are being brought to court, they are being charged under the relevant sections of that law. And this will enable the courts to also ensure that the proper punishment is being meted on such offenders.
Now, lepers communities in Niger State has called on the state government to help build a permanent home for them. The call followed a notice to the residents by the management of the IBB Specialist Hospital asking them to vacate their homes to pave way for expansion. The report.
Kampanin Kutare, which means lepers community, is less than 10 minutes drive from Mina town, the state capital. The community, which is some meters away from the IBB Specialist Hospital, was purported to have occupied the government land belonging to the IBB Specialist Hospital. The community of 38 houses has a population of at least 600 residents who came from various states, including Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Niger, among others, for treatment at the Niger State Leprosy Hospital. Aside the quit notice from government, the stigmatization from other members of the society is also a theme of concern to the lepers and their families.
I came here to receive medication, and we have hospitals in our place, but they are all obsolete. The sickness is getting worse, and I was told that the best place for me to come is Niger State.
Residents here also lamented over lack of toilet facility, poor housing condition, and lack of regular water supply from the State Water Board.
I've been here for 8 years, and I hail from Kagara, Niger State. I've come to receive medication. I don't want to go back home again, because this place is already my home. I'm from Katsina State, and we've been confronting so many challenges. We are appealing to the state government to come to our rescue so that we can feel carried along.
The head teacher of Kampala Bari Primary School, Samuel Yusuf, said it took intervention of some teachers and non-governmental organizations such as Leprosy Mission, who came forward to assist the pupils by buying learning materials for them to encourage them.
Some of them are lack of money to buy the school materials. The teaching and learning materials, sometimes we are lack here. But with the help of the government, local government here, the supply, and in terms of school uniform and shoe and other things, is with some government NOG that come in sometimes to maybe give support.
Efforts to get officials of the Niger State Ministry of Health to speak on relocation notice failed as officials declined comment, asking this reporter to formally write.
You're watching News Update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. Parents lament over the detrimental effects of prolonged ASUU strike on the future of their children. Please stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Update on Trust Television. A recap of our major stories. Building collapses in Kubwa, Abuja as rescue operation keeps ongoing. American government confirms date for sentencing of internet fraudster Hush Puppy. To other stories now, Nasarawa State University, KEFI, and National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM, in Plateau State have agreed to work together to improve academic research capacity in animal fields. To this end, a memorandum of understanding is signed at the Senate Chamber of the Nasarawa State University, KEFI. Correspondent Abubakar sent in this report as presented from our studios.
The Vice-Chancellor of the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, Professor Suleiman Mohammed, and the Executive Director, National Veterinary Research Institute, VOM, Plateau State, Dr. Mariam Mohammed, signed the MOU in collaboration between the two organizations. Professor Mohammed said the major areas agreed by the two parties include joint research and mapping, exchange of staff and students on fellowship, sabbatical internship and students' industrial work experience schemes, CUS, as well as joint publication and exchange of artificial dissemination services.
I am happy that today we are signing an MOU which clearly specifies areas of the collaboration and the expectation from the two parties. Today is therefore a historic day for us. Today is a day that will formalize what we have started. I want to also state that by the special grace of God, when we sign this MOU, we are going to faithfully implement the MOU.
The Executive Director, National Veterinary Research Institute, JOS, Dr. Mariam Mohammed, explained that for about 100 years, NVRI has been collaborating with different organizations in the areas of research and maintained that the signing of the agreement with the Nasarawa State University will no doubt improve academic research in the institution.
That collaborations with institutions like ours and yours are what will move and improve development in our country, both for research, academics, and for development. So we are very happy with this collaboration. Our doors are open in NVRI, and we look forward very much to collaborating with you and to having you increase and improve the quality of research that we do in NVRI.
The endorsement of the MOU by the heads of the two academic institutions signifies that the two institutions are ready to work together to achieve their desired goals in research and innovations.
Parents in Taraba State have continued to express dismay over the prolonged ASUU strike that is exposing students to antisocial behaviors. Some residents in Jalingo, the state capital, while speaking to our correspondent, described the strike as a major setback for the educational growth in the country.
Part of it, but unfortunately I can't even think of graduating anytime soon because we are at home. And our parents that are there suffering, making ends meet just to see us go through school, and they've already planned everything. All of a sudden, ASUU came and spoiled our plans, and like, it's hurting.
In fact, I feel it's too bad about this strike that our children are in now. First of all, the school that when your children start up, which is supposed to spend 4 or 5 years, they will now stay in the house more than 6 years and they won't finish. Why? It's because of strike.
I'm even lacking words to express my dismay over the issue. It hurts everybody. The impact is very famous. People fail to understand it's not for only our kids. The economy, the society we are living in. These boys or these children are not going to school. They can venture into any profession, anything. It's very hazardous to the economy, to the society, to we parents.
ASU strike affected me very badly and I'm angry speaking now because ASU strike interrupted my business. I'm an entrepreneur and most of my clients, my customers, they are students. And spending 4 years in diploma and just getting admission after writing JAMB for 7 years, thinking I'm going to graduate this year or next year, ASU have kept me home again and scatter my plans, scatter my business, everything. So I'm very angry and I'm not happy with the government of Nigeria because they've done us more harm than good.
As a developing economy, we are supposed to take education very serious because it is education that on its own that is a human resource base that will stimulate the social aspects of development like health, agriculture, water resources, and the gifts of the land.
National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies (NIPS) and the Development Research and Project Center DRPC have called for the boosting and promotion of health systems at local government levels for the well-being of the common man. The call was made in Jos Plateau State Capital at a policy dialogue on strengthening health governance in Nigeria, which was held at the Institute. This report was filed by Diction Adama and presented from our studios.
Speaking at the event, NIPSS Director General Professor Ayo Motayo said the dialogue will examine the state of health governance at the local government level in Nigeria, identify the key drivers, and evaluate the challenges confronting health governance at those levels, and make policy recommendations that will promote health at the local government level in Nigeria. He urged political parties in the country to endeavour to make health issues prominent in their forthcoming electioneering campaigns, saying that the parties will eventually form government at the national and state levels and they will be expected to give health a priority in their programming and activities.
Local governance in Nigeria is the major thing that SEC 44 is interrogating. We have people from all walks of life attending and representing their various organizations at this time. Now, for local governance, there is a lot of other sectors that are involved, and one of those is the healthcare sector, which of course is very, very critical. From what the saying has always been, they say, when you have good health, you have everything.
Lives in one local government or the other. Sometimes when we say local governance, people think we are thinking of rural. No. Local governance is about people, citizens, being able to access governance within their community wherever they live. That means you're also able to access services like education, like health, like services like public transportation. All of these services should be available to every citizen, every resident in the vicinity within which they live. And that means that a topic like health governance, because we know that health is a development issue, we know that without good health, the nation is in peril, because health is also a security issue.
The dialogue agreed that there must be a transparent system that assess what is within realistic limits of resources available for health at the local, state and federal level, and that building a successful health systems must start with a new mindset and clear fundamental decisions.
On a foreign scene, Pakistani government has declared devastating floods in the country national emergency after nearly 1,000 people died and more than 30 million are without shelters as monsoon rains continue to lash the South Asian nation. At least 937 people have died since mid-June, including 343 children according to the National Disaster Management Authority, with large swathes of the southwestern province of Balochistan remaining submerged, bringing back the memories of devastating 2010 floods. More than half of the casualties are from Balochistan and southern Sindh province, where 234 and 306 people died respectively, amid record rains that have affected 500,000 houses across the country. Fida Hussain Shahani, a laborer from the remote village in Singh, is grieving for his son who was swept away by the huge deluge. And for a little bit of sport, Newcastle have signed Swedish striker Alexandra Isak from Real Sociedad on a long-term deal understood to be worth about £60 million. The 22-year-old became the Magpies' fourth signing of the summer after Matt Targett, Nick Pope and Van Botman. Isak scored 44 goals in 132 appearances for the side and has 9 in 37 caps for his country. And with this, we've come to the end of News Update on Trust Television. For more news, do connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Nten. Thanks for watching. There will be more at 9. Bye for now.